Hey everyone, I'm back to do another book review. I did actually read 2 books in the last 2 days, which is really good, but a lot of it was because I was sick yesterday, so I couldn't really do much else. And also the book I was reading, I wanted to just get it done, not because I loved it so much, but I just wanted to finish it and get it over with, which really is not a good sign. I do have a cold in case you managed to not see my previous 2 videos, so if I sound weird, that is why. The book I'm going to be reviewing is Wither by Lauren DeStefano. This is a dystopian slash kind of sci-fi novel. In this future, it seems to be only like about 100 years or so in the future, or maybe not too far along. Due to people playing around with genetics and just trying to create a superhuman with no cancer or allergies or any diseases like that, people die at a really young age. Men always die at age 25 and women die at 20. So because of this, it's become really common for young girls as young as 13 to kidnap as wives for rich young men to try to, keep breeding and keep the population going and possibly find a cure. This book follows Ryan Ellery, who is one of those girls. In the very beginning is when she's kidnapped, and then you find out more about her life previously through flashbacks in the novel. She is kidnapped and taken to be a bride to Lyndon. Ashby is his last name, and it was mainly orchestrated by his father, who's one of the older generation before this disease, named Vaughn. Vaughn is the villain of the novel. She and 2 others were taken to be brides. One of them, Jenna, is 18, and she's really just hates this idea and hates everything about it, hates her husband, everything. And then the younger one, Cecily, is only 13, and she was raised thinking that this was like a good thing for her to do, so she thinks it's like big fantasy and just a dream come true for her, in the beginning at least. And throughout this book, Ryan just wants to escape and get back to her twin brother, Rowan. I think this is mainly due to Ryan and Owen had older parents, the older generation, so they grew up knowing their parents and knowing like things of like love and ideas of the older time, whereas most kids, the younger generation, their parents die so young, they're just raised in orphanages and don't really know anything else. So that kind of sets Ryan apart. I don't want to give away too much of the plot. I mean, this is a pretty popular book. I think a lot, if not most people, have already read it. I've read a lot of people tend to have very polarized opinions, like love it or hate it. Sadly, I tended to lean more towards the negative camp. As I said, I really just wanted to get it done and get it over with and put it aside so I could move on to something else. I didn't absolutely hate it, but I really didn't like it all that much. Let me just start with my positives. I think that Lauren DeStefano's writing, her prose is actually pretty good. The words themselves and everything flows and reads really well. I also like the premise, the concept. I appreciate her wanting to tackle such taboo kind of subjects here, such as, girls being married so young and having to deal with problems, and some of that she dealt with really well, such as the younger bride, Cecily, dealing with how she changed from this naive, like, happy to be in here bride to just a jaded, worn out, girl. I like that. The idea of the science to it, the idea only, I thought was interesting, and it could have become something really brilliant. But it didn't quite work for me. One of the main things is reading this. I have no real medical knowledge, but I just kept thinking, why is there this difference? Why do men have 5 years longer? I don't understand what the point of that is, especially since women have, tend to have longer lifespans than men. I just thought that was bizarre. I also wondered how this could be possible, because I guess these people were conceived artificially, but I'm thinking, like, there's no possible way that every human in North America, because the other continents have supposedly been wiped out, and North America is all that remaining. That seems to be the common thing in dystopians, but I'm just thinking, how could all of them have been conceived artificially? Were there no, like, poor people living on the streets, or anyone else who just had kids naturally? I don't understand how this was possible unless the population was so tiny that they were able to create all of this. I don't get it, and if someone could explain that to me, I'd be very grateful, because I have never read or heard any questions about this in reviews before. I'm still confused. I don't know how it is possible that this happened. Also, the plot itself. It's pretty uneventful and anticlimactic, aside from a few exceptions. There's not really a lot going on for most of the book. It's just Ryan describing the household and things like that. She takes baths, and she describes the candy. She likes this candy that turns your tongue different colors. Something, spring bean, or I don't know, some sort of bean candy that turns your mouth different colors. Great. That was happening and going on a lot. One thing I forgot to mention I liked the relationship between Ryan and her two sister wives, how that grew and developed. I forgot to mention that in the positives. Back to the negatives. The romance. There is a love triangle in this, which I found I really couldn't take the love triangle seriously, because one of the men is her husband, Lyndon, and the other one is Gabriel, a servant in the house. She doesn't have enough interaction with Gabriel. I thought that there should have been more showing their relationship develop. They didn't have quite enough scenes together, I thought, to make that work. And then Lyndon, her husband, he is a pawn in all of this. He's not a bad guy. He's just a really weak, naive, stupid dude who goes along with and believes what his father tells him, and his father is the evil villain. And just very ineffectual, and he has a good heart, but okay, he does sleep with his 13-year-old wife, and he goes along thinking that that is a good thing to do. I'm like, seriously, did anyone reading this really think that Lyndon would end up being, the winner in the love triangle? I'm not going to give anything away, but come on. That is just, no. There's no way. And I don't know. This book could have been really good, but it was just a combination of several things which weighed it down for me. And I give it a 2.5 out of 5 stars. I know I only bought this book because it was really cheap at a Borders going out of business sale back last summer. So even previously, I didn't really have any interest in reading it. It didn't sound like my thing. But because it was so cheap, I figured, why not? And now, of course, I have to read the 2 sequels, because it is a trilogy, like all young adult dystopians are. And that is how I am. I have to, unless it's something that so disgusts me that I couldn't even finish this, I have to read the rest. It's just a strange compulsion that I have. I kind of wish I had not read it because of this. I don't really want to read the other ones too much, but maybe they will be better. I don't know. I wasn't too fond of Wither, but that's all I'm going to say for now. I'll see you guys next time.